So, first things first, what is Nutanix and what does it do? It's a cloud computing company which provides software, making companies' life easier when it comes to handling data. Its biggest competitor? Well, companies like VMware. You must have heard of it. The core value proposition is obviously its HCI technology. Over time, it has turned from a hardware-centric company to a software-centric company, that too on a subscription-based model. At the very core of their services is the concept of radical simplification of IT complexities, handling data easier, much different from the siloed concept that was earlier used. They are a huge promoter and propagator of the hybrid multi-cloud architecture. So be it on-premise, be it on multiple public clouds, be it on the edge, flexibility is a core principle, a core pillar. I'm saying core multiple times. Today in this episode of BW Tech Talks, we will be attending an announcement that will be made in collaboration with Lenovo ISG, and we will be having a sit down, a chat, a conversation with Mr. Faiz Shakir, VP and Managing Director, India and ASEAN Nutanix, and Mr. Amit Luthra, Managing Director, India Lenovo ISG. Hi, my name is Deep Majumdar. I am a senior tech journalist at BW Business World. Glad to be here, and thank you for being here with us for this interaction. So, a vast number of our viewers, they are not tech savvy. Although, that being said, they want to stay updated about what's happening in this landscape. For those non-tech viewers, how would you explain to them what Nutanix is doing and what it wants to achieve with this announcement?
I think Nutanix fundamentally, of course, supports applications by providing infrastructure in the form of cloud to various companies that they use on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. So if you're banking with some of the largest banks in India, you're probably using OTT streaming, you're using hospital services from one of the leading hospital providers or pharmacies across the country. Right. A lot of their data in the back end, a lot of their applications run on the infrastructure provided by Nutanix. So while you don't see us in your day-to-day life, we're powering companies which you actually use in your day-to-day life. I think that's what fundamentally Nutanix does, provides cloud as a platform along with partners like Lenovo to various enterprises who in turn pass on services to millions and millions of citizens across India and the world.
Okay. Mr. Luthra, same question for you. I would have a lot of money if I received 1 rupee for every question when my peers, my colleagues, they ask me, of course, the non-tech ones, what does Lenovo ISG do?
Yeah. So anything in and around data center, I would say, right? So if you go back in today's world, the digital transformation journey that organizations have been looking into it had 4 major pillars, which was social media, mobility, analytics, and cloud computing. And cloud computing is where Nutanix is an important pillar of it, right? Which makes hybrid cloud really more relevant in today's context. So all these 4 pillars require IT modernization. So you'll have to modernize your IT to make digital transformation projects real and successful. So, and all these 4 pillars do require purpose-built infrastructure. So this infrastructure has been powered by Lenovo. We have a legacy of 32 years of manufacturing infrastructure for the data centers, and our partnership dates little over a decade now. So we've been making purpose-built infrastructure for Nutanix platforms, helping customers make their hybrid cloud journey real and relevant.
Right. Your partnership will be like almost a decade old next year, right? Yeah. Amazing. Since we have you here and we don't have you here every day, I really wanted to understand, back in 2024, how big of a disruption was the VMware acquisition by Broadcom? And a small follow-up, fast forward to 2025, we are almost towards the end of the year. How did that disruption impact your business?
I think fundamentally, VMware is a lovely company. They've provided great services, great solution stacks to various customers. But every single time there's an acquisition, some acquisitions bring disruptions. And I think the decisions that Broadcom made after acquiring VMware and how they approach customers and how they chose to approach their price points, got rid of certain programs, I think some of the customers felt pretty uncomfortable with that. And that gave an opportunity for someone like Nutanix, which is a pioneer in hybrid cloud and multi-cloud, to go out there, fill the vacuum or the void, which was being left with the Broadcom disruption. So for us, it was an opportunity to work with much larger enterprises across the board who were facing disruption, who were facing uncertainty with what Broadcom and VMware price points could feel like over a period of time. So I think what Nutanix went and offered, along with partners like Lenovo again, essentially was all built around giving you predictability, giving you a stack that keeps your enterprise ahead of the curve, but more importantly, giving you a platform that's going to serve you for many years without the fear of changing price points, changing commercial connotations, and just being ready for an evolving landscape. And the fact that our licenses have been portable, they could run on-premise, they could run on the cloud, leaving the customers choose where they want to run those licenses with no lock-ins. I think freedom to run applications anywhere is something that Nutanix has stood by, and that's been the platform, which is why that disruption, in all fairness, has served us well. And I hope you're returning the favor by serving the customer as well.
Mr. Shakir, what would you say is the biggest revenue driver at the moment for your company?
Enterprise mission-critical workloads. So as we see large banks, large ITS companies, large conglomerates, large manufacturing firms, sprucing up applications, the need for a lot of data has been growing. They need a cloud platform to support that growth, be it in employees, be it in application growth, just generally any form of growth. And I think we're serving that. So for us, revenue growth is going to come from various forms. We have two types of growth that we focus on. One, of course, essentially is just in terms of number of customers that we acquire. And then the extending customers or the customers that we already have, what more can we expand through those customers? So with those customers, we're looking to see how much more can our revenue grow, how many more applications can we serve with our infrastructure and cloud, and how many net new customers can we acquire. So for us, we've got multiple growth drivers, but I think anyone getting on the journey of mission critical apps, business critical apps, looking to scale that, I think that's a sweet spot for us, and those are the tailwinds we need.
Mr. Luthra, I'll be coming to you for the next one. This year only, during the showcasing of the CIO Playbook, I was there in Delhi when it was showcased. A big statement was made. Actually, many were made, but one stood out that Gen AI is set to dominate about 43% of the market share by 2025 only. Last month, we got another report, sort of study by the MIT NANDA, clearly stating that 95% of AI projects are failing, with only 5% projects actually giving an ROI. Why would you say there's such a disparity between the rate of AI adoption and the actual tangible ROI?
So I would say AI, right, for that matter today, is the most widely spoken technology, right? AI has not only changed the way we live, in fact, the way Gen Zs play, in fact, the way businesses are done. Definitely AI has touched our lives. Touch lives of common people today. If you go back and talk to anyone on the street, he also knows there is something called AI, there is something called GPT, or to create an image and stuff like that, right? So AI, especially Gen AI, has touched each and every stratus of the society. Now, where projects have been successful is people where they have adopted AI to bring efficiency in their existing business, or they have actually used AI to create a cutting edge differentiation with in their industry when compared to their competition. So when there is a clear business end objective in mind, and in that journey AI is used, I think organizations has been successful in showing that ROI. And natural integration from cloud is to get the artificial intelligence piece right. So larger organizations who have actually gone back and had a very clear roadmap on what are they going to achieve with their AI projects have been fairly successful. But exploratory projects which organizations have started, with that FOMO factor, right? Fear of missing out. Let me also buy some GPUs. Let me also go and start some AI initiatives. I think those are the ones which are struggling with the ROI concept. But larger enterprises, larger companies that have clear roadmap on what they're going to do with AI have been fairly successful.
The next one is for you, Mr. Shakir. This partnership. What does this mean in terms of business, in terms of growth? I'll need some numbers here. Like I understand this is almost a decade-old partnership, but in terms of business, How does this translate for Nutanix?
I think firstly, this is a special strategic relationship. Make no mistake, it's not one of those transactional relationships. Lenovo has been our longest standing partner for over a decade. I think it was sometime signed in 2015. So it's been well over a decade that we've been together. And we've been serving some very, very large customers globally. But even in India, we've got some of the largest banks, the largest conglomerates, some of the largest manufacturing firms actually running on the Nutanix Lenovo combination, I beg your pardon. So for us, this has been a very strategic relationship. And while we have other relationships, I think those have been built at different stages in terms of time. But this is the one which has withstood COVID, withstood a lot of other things, and we've continued to thrive together. I'm not at the liberty to give you specific numbers, but what I can tell you is a very significant part of our business is in partnership with Lenovo. And without the Lenovo partnership, we would see a void. And therefore, it's a partnership we keep close to our chest and we won't let go so easily.
And in fact, I would like to add a few things, right? The way we do cloud is very important. We cannot actually come back and serve a general infrastructure and say, this is meant for Nutanix, right? So here we have engineered our appliances at the edge, at the core, and at the cloud for purpose-built infrastructure for setting up an hybrid cloud deployment that stitches the complete Nutanix framework, right? And to adding to that commitment with aligning to government's initiative, so we have also started manufacturing Nutanix purpose-built infrastructure appliances in our Puducherry factory. So that's the commitment which comes both ways, right? So this is really a special relationship.
My next question was exactly this. ISG has been an integral part of the India growth story, right? When it comes to hardware manufacturing. After this announcement, what kind of, again, same question, what's the translation like? Do we see more jobs? Again, some numbers would really help.
So again, I'm also not at the liberty of sharing numbers, right? I would say that we are a global company which has India as an integral element in R&D and also an integral element in terms of our supply chain. You can look at Gartner's latest reports. We have ranked 8th best when it comes to supply chain, and this will not happen by just having supply chain only focused in one part of the or one geography of the planet, right? You will have to build a robust framework, and in that framework, Puducherry factory, which is our India factory, becomes a very important element. So we've been manufacturing mobiles and PCs for long now. We have added infrastructure last year, which was our general purpose servers and AI infrastructure, and now with the new addition of having Nutanix appliances helps us to serve our customers the fastest, right? Imagine you go back to a customer and you say that I'll take 4 to 6 weeks to get you an infrastructure to build or deploy an hybrid cloud. Gone are those days. We are talking of 10 business days. We'll deliver you an Nutanix appliance which is manufactured in India to a customer in India. So their IT projects speed up. So that's the kind of pace that we are looking at. That's the kind of commitment we are giving to our channel partners and customers. And this definitely will relate to a lot of other opportunities that you are looking for, right?
Right. Mr. Shakir, how does Nutanix see India? My focus here is the solely the India story.
Yeah. So Nutanix is founded by three Indians born and brought up in India, IITians got together and started this company. So there's a lot of roots for Nutanix, which is Indian. Our CEO is Indian. A lot of our leadership team is Indian. And these are Indian-born, educated folks, right? Not just of Indian origin. So there's a lot of their core that's based in India. But I think those issues apart, the fact is we've got a massive R&D setup in India. Huge, few thousand employees based in Bangalore, a big base in Pune, and we've got offices across all major cities. India is the largest market for us in APJ, and Nutanix continues to invest heavily in India. As I said, it's very rare that India is the largest market in APJ for enterprise companies, but with Nutanix, we've been the largest market, and we became the largest market in fiscal 25. We were amongst the fastest growing markets globally. And Nutanix finds India a very, very special place. So this is one place that we continue to invest very close to the growth journey we have. If you look at .next, for example, we had a few thousand attendees today. The scale of this event, our CEO was here. India is at the forefront of everything that Nutanix is doing. So we actually build a lot of R&D over here. A lot of development of the product happens over here. And a lot of the products made in India, the software developed in India is actually consumed by the world. So Nutanix India, for all practical purposes, is in the epicenter of everything that Nutanix does.
What is Nutanix's North Star, if you will, when doing business, especially, again, solely focusing on the India story?
I don't think we have a North Star. I think for us, it's an evolving process, right? And we're here for the long term. So we imagine having a North Star, achieving that North Star and not knowing what to do next. So we look forward to a long-term journey. And there's just some simple things that we live by is how do we continue to keep growing? But while we continue to keep growing, how well are we serving these customers? Are we able to really solve for real life problems in the form of public cloud consumption, private cloud consumption? Can we put that all together? Give them a platform that works. Give them a platform that's without any lock-in. Give them a stack that is not just virtualization, but also Kubernetes. So we want to work with enterprises across the board, across the length and breadth of India, and be integral to them as much as we are with everybody else. We want to work on a wider spread of applications. We want to do a lot more with our partners like this. So we don't have one North Star. We've got a lot of customers in India, but we think we have the ability to do a lot more with the same set of customers, as well as obviously go out there and acquire many new customers in the process. But more importantly, I keep saying this, Nutanix for Naya Bharat, that's something that we stand by, is how much more that we can actually contribute by building and employing people. And Nutanix, one is what we do from an India perspective, from a sales and business perspective, but also what we can do from a development, R&D, shared services perspective, where we build a much larger base and we provide back. So I think it's a lot more comprehensive for us.
Does ISG have a North Star?
The response would have been same, right? When you are operating in world's fourth largest economy, right? If you have North Star, then I think you are going to limit yourself, right? Definitely, we want to serve our customers better and increase our share of wallet in our top customers, the 80-20 rule, or whichever. In fact, nowadays new science has come which is challenging the 80-20 rule as well, right? So India has huge potential, and when an economy has so much of strength in having that potential, we should be innovating ourselves every quarter, right? We actually go back and challenge every quarter that what are we doing new, either with our existing customers or what are we doing new in the market to go and acquire new customers. I believe that it's a mix of both. My response would have been absolutely similar to what Faiz just mentioned, right? Having a North Star might limit your complete go-to-market and might limit your action plan in the market, in the Indian economy.
Question, small one. Does the new change in policy in the H-1B visa affect your workforce in any way or no?
Nutanix is not a dependent company on H-1B. Yes, like everyone, we are gauging the situation and we do have some folks, but we're not dependent on H-1B holders as a company, as a workforce. So yeah, it's a macro situation and we'll keep adopting, but I don't think it's something that impacts us at the moment.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going old school with this.
No worries. No, we love it. Yeah.
For some reason, I chose to have few cards. I don't know why. This whole partnership, keeping this new announcement in focuses on the delivery of AI-ready infra, right? Made in India for India.
Yeah.
Going beyond this, concept of localized manufacturing, how does this address the India-specific challenges, the challenges that are unique to Indian enterprises? If you could just elaborate on that a bit. We'll start with Mr.
Okay, so I'll keep it very brief.
Okay.
I think for starters, India needs to have an option which is built for different sizes. Different companies of different sizes, different scales need an AI platform that can serve them because you don't have a one-size-fits-all. And I think this relationship can serve the smallest SMB mid-market customer who's looking to do something with AI, agentic or otherwise, to provide a platform that works for them, as well as providing a platform that works for very, very large enterprises. Because AI adoption, agentic AI is something that everyone has different budgets for. Everyone recognizes the importance for it, But the question is, how much can they budget for it? And I think we've got a platform that serves a wide spread of customers. The other critical factor, of course, is sovereign cloud. I think a lot of us are looking at how do we ensure, with particularly what's happening in the world, relationships changing very quickly with one country and another. I think a lot of large customers of relevance, are wanting to have clouds that are local, made in India, for India, local, completely under their control. And I think a partnership like this, which is Make in India and our stack on top of that, gives them the option to have a sovereign cloud with an AI platform. Without an AI platform, that's secondary, but we can give them a sovereign cloud. And I think that is to a large extent an India specific point.
Okay. Mr. Luthra.
Yeah, so I would say what happens in India is people think that India is a different market. I think gone are those days where an Indian CIO would have missed adopting and technology. Today, if you read any analyst report when it comes to AI adoption, India is ahead than most of the matured economies, right? So when we are ahead in adoption in technology in today's world, it's very important to have the right infrastructure. Now, one is right infrastructure, like Faiz mentioned. You will have to have something which is for the SMBs, for the large enterprises, which is for the hyperscalers who are wanting to build those sovereign cloud. And then you actually have to also have a model wherein you are enabling it, right? And that's where Lenovo TrueScale comes in, wherein we go back and say, we'll give you infrastructure which is there in your premises or co-located in any of the cloud service provider in India, and you can actually pay as you grow, right? So you can pay us on the number of VMs you use, or you can pay us on the number of containers you use, or the power consumed per se, because with AI, power consumption becomes a very interesting aspect. So we have these unique billing models, which also enables them to adopt these technologies, right? Otherwise, what happens is people just look at, oh, this is the kind of infrastructure and let me delay my project. Now, it's not the case. You start. We are there to support in this partnership. We are there to support in their hybrid cloud journey. We are there to support in their AI journey with TrueScale offerings of ours.
Okay. Understood. So, safe to say that it all boils down to the diversity in options?
Of course.
Yes.
100%.
Okay.
I think we live in a world where customers deserve a choice. Customers should not be locked into platforms. Customers should not be locked into one way or the other and force fit. This is not the era of monopolies. So we want to be a platform that works with multiple partners, just as Lenovo can work with multiple partners. And it's for the customers to decide if this is a great combination for them. We think we're a great combination. Yeah. We've got a lot of customers who love this combination, but never would Lenovo or Nutanix force something down their throat that they do not want. They will always have a permutation and combination. So that's where we are today. And that's how we will be for the longest time. Nutanix is a huge believer in freedom of choice, and that would not change.
I think the presentation also mentioned something about 25% reduction in the overall power consumption, right? Yeah. How does that translate into the sustainability benefit that enterprises are looking for these days?
So I think the biggest question that people have around sustainability today is, with AI, the complete power calculations have changed, right? If you take a step back and look three years back, and rack in a cloud location, colo location would be 15 kilowatts in India. So when AI GPUs came, 15 kilowatts per rack was only sufficing like 2 nodes of AI 8 GPU machines, right? So can you scale it? Then you will need to have a lot of real estate. So then people went in for power efficiency, right? And in that process, they realized, oh, this is going to charge me so much on power and cooling. So sustainability became the biggest aspect on how do you actually manage this infrastructure, which is for AI. Because this is definitely going to be power hungry. This requires a lot of cooling. And that is where Neptune cooling solutions from Lenovo come in. These are 6th generation of liquid cooling, because we have been having this understanding of how to cool hyperscale data centers, right? When you build some large compute farms, how do you cool them? So we use the normal water, which is there at a room temperature, leverage it, and have an purpose-built appliance which can run Nutanix on a liquid cool system, serving artificial intelligence, serving containers, serving hybrid cloud, whatever they want. and they are in that sustainability envelope because they are not going to consume that kind of power which they would have otherwise consumed.
Speaking of AI power consumption, this morning we got an update about the new partnership between NVIDIA and OpenAI. Would you like to comment on that?
I've read a little about it.
Okay.
I don't have an opinion on it.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's something that they're planning to serve, both iconic companies.
Okay.
And I look forward to what they eventually dish out to end customers. But I don't have a personal opinion on it that I like to share.
Okay. My actual question in the beginning was what do you think the impact of such a collaboration would be on the overall AI and tech landscape?
Again, both stalwarts in the AI space.
Okay.
I think NVIDIA has really thrived over the last few years. It's always been a massive platform supporting AI growth, supporting GPUs. And the last few years is for everyone to see what NVIDIA has done.
Right.
OpenAI is actually, to a large extent, democratized AI, has brought AI to actually a lot of homes. I mean, it's got grandmothers, grandfathers, and kids as young as 5 figuring out what GPT and ChatGPT essentially is. So it's a massive, massive partnership. It's going to drive scale. It's going to be spread across the world. But eventually, when they get together, I'm a firm believer in what time will tell. So I look forward to seeing it. It's exciting, but I think it's beyond me to be commenting on it in specificity.
Mr. Luthra, back in August, I think you had a conversation with my colleague, Rohit, and you mentioned the AI Center of Excellence in Bengaluru. Just want to get a clearer idea of what the roadmap for this institution will be going forward, because you mentioned that this will not just be a center for R&D, but a center that builds holistic solutions.
Yeah. So this actually will tie to the question that you asked in the beginning, right, where you were comparing two industry reports on what is the success rate of an AI project, right? So the success rate of an AI project fails when you actually don't consult well and don't design well. And this is where Lenovo Center of Excellence for AI comes in. We help our customers in this journey right at the consulting stage itself. We consult them. For example, if the end objective is to drive an business outcome, which is related to bringing in efficiency in HR department or legal department or marketing department, or actually leveraging AI to bring to increase their quality of the production. So once we know that complete end objective of the vertical in which the customer is, so we actually start from consulting, designing. We help them in this journey with data scientists, because it is not just about having the data, right? It's not about the training. How do you build the training around it? How do you actually then take and do the inferencing around it, right? So you will need to walk the organizations in that complete journey, right from consulting to design to training to inferencing and then delivering a business outcome. And this is where our Center of Excellence will come into play, because a lot of this is bringing in ISVs into play, because ISVs will play a major role. They are all, if you today go back and see, if I have to put a slide on ISVs that play, that actually are very much relevant in the AI space, I think one slide or one hour would not be sufficient to talk about these ISVs. So how do we bring this complete ecosystem of ISVs, these partners, and work in an environment which can deliver AI projects successful? And that's where the Center of Excellence comes into play.
Okay. Did the COE have a role to play in the Think Agile HX service?
So as I mentioned, global footprint. So we do a lot of this designing, which is across our 4 labs globally. Okay. So it definitely had a role to play.
All right. Right. In the same interview, you also mentioned about your facility in Puducherry. Of course, playing a part in making hardware in India for India, but also a huge potential for exports. Has it begun exports yet?
Initial days, right? We have the systems are set up. So we are just working on, as I mentioned, right? Globally, we have a robust supply chain in place. So when an order drops, it drops into a factory, and these factories balance workloads. So the intent is definitely there. And initial days, as I mentioned, right, May was when we shipped the first server. And from May to September, we have crossed upwards of thousands of servers, helping customers across our hyperscalers, large customers in India across verticals.
All right. We are in the last question zone, one for you and one for you, both the gentlemen. In the presentation, we heard about the Nutanix Kubernetes platform and GPT in a box. Could you please elaborate for us how these services, again, will help Indian enterprises. And
so I think modern day workloads need a platform beyond virtualization. And that's where open source Kubernetes comes into play.
Okay.
And Nutanix has a platform, what we call NKP, which is the Nutanix Kubernetes platform. So any of the customers, born in the cloud customers, modern day applications, looking to run Kubernetes on top of it, to manage it, to run the show with Kubernetes, Nutanix has a simple, scalable platform, which we call Nutanix Kubernetes Platform, NKP, to support them in the modern day app journey. So I think that's what NKP essentially does for us. And I think it's one of our fastest growing products. We're seeing a lot of adoption. The fact that it's extremely open, driven by open source. We're seeing a lot more adoption than a few other pretty closed Kubernetes platforms in the market. So I think that's a big game changer. GPT in a box essentially is providing an AI platform, which has a combination of a partner like Lenovo, for example, the Nutanix stack, our relationship with Hugging Face, our relationship with NVIDIA, all put together, wrapped around with services to give someone a ready running AI solution so that they can start the AI journey a lot easier than having to go and build that all themselves. So we kind of put together a stack, which is like, well, GPT in a box for somebody to quickly start their AI journey on premise and to drive it with ease, as opposed to being, uncomfortable trying to get all of that done together. And AI can be a pretty tricky phase for certain enterprises. Nutanix simplifies that for them. And again, all managed through one common console, which is what makes Nutanix special. And coming back to modern day workloads, Nutanix Kubernetes is the way going forward.
So the keyword here is modern day workloads.
Modern day workloads and ease of use and simplicity from an AI perspective.
Understood. So Luthra, last question. I'll leave you gentlemen after this. Given the heavy push of Make in India and of course the huge government support for enterprises to manufacture semiconductors, hardware in the country, where does Lenovo ISG see itself in the next 10 years?
I think in today's world, if you want me to comment about 10 years, it is a very difficult
Let's
thing.
make it 5 years.
But I would say I would like to first congratulate the government of India for encouraging the complete ecosystem around Make in India and helping organizations that are globally to make India as one of its hub in supply chain. Definitely, India plays an integral part of this complete journey on making in India. I would say even 5 years would be very difficult to talk about a vision, right? Because a vision needs to be delivered. The way things are changing globally, the way things are changing in the country, I think 5 years is still a very long horizon. We take 1 quarter at a time, like a cricket match, play an innings, play by session, right? So that's where we believe in execution. So our execution is working towards the vision that we have laid in, to the point that Faiz mentioned, right? We have to simplify IT. We have to increase that adoption. So for example, the GPT in a box is a very nice way, right? You want to build a sovereign cloud. You don't want to actually go to you are very much psyched about your data being somewhere. You want to train your enterprise data. So GPT in a box is purpose-built infrastructure, right? So all these things when get manufactured in India and with the envelope of sovereign cloud makes India stronger in that journey.
Right. I think more than the longer vision, I was focusing more on the tech ambitions of Lenovo ISG, like what's in the pipeline.
And definitely to make infrastructure that is relevant, right? At the end of the day, we power hyperscalers, we power private clouds, we power the largest of the hybrid clouds which are there in the country, right? So these cannot happen with we coming back to them and saying, hey, this is a magic offering from ours, which can be used by anyone and everyone, right? So our ambition is always to make purpose-built infrastructure. I'll give a classic example. We do have something called as edge servers, which can run GPUs, Nutanix. You can deploy an edge for a time-sensitive analytics. Suppose you want to take a decision then and there itself. You don't have an air condition. You have to operate -22 +60 harsh environments. You want to have an hybrid cloud there, or you want to have an artificial intelligence application running there. We make purpose-built infrastructure to serve those kind of workloads. So right from edge to core to cloud, we ensure that we deliver this complete dream and have purpose-built infrastructure that serves that process, that complete journey.
Mr. Luthra, Mr. Shakir, thank you so much for this.
Pleasures and
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.